pension funds generally are in long-term thinking because they continue in terms of returns. They have to look after future generations. So in, whatever investments are made or collections or revenue made today is going to pay somebody sometime in the future, 10, 20 years down the line. There are various pools of funds, as we call it, pools of capital. They sit with either insurance companies, pension companies, financial institutions like the bank, and that's where it's pooled. So multiple people contribute, and then these are pooled funds. So the key area was, could we influence the agenda for what we call responsible investing, so that we can create this healthier world, a healthier planet, and begin to have human development and the processes that lead to it. So this was some of the issues, that if you could influence the long-term thinking as opposed to a concept called short-termism at the moment. Short-termism is that how can I get my returns on investment in the shortest possible time and exit that process. And we've seen the various crises that have come on us in the recent decade of the financial crisis that wiped out a lot of people's pension funds, particularly in non-guaranteed funds. So the key area was begin to have a re-look at things, look at the new shared interests or shared values. And there's been a movement within the pensions fund industry, or what we call fund holders, the people that actually are trustees or boards of pension funds, to begin to look at a concept called responsible investing. So there's been a big issue on the climate change and fossil fuels. There's the issue around better working practices and some of the other issues. A lot of the issues have been linked to what's the environment, the climate change issues. There's been an issue around social investments, human capital development, education, healthcare, housing, and issues around that. And then there's been an issue around governance, because we've also seen that corporate failures in many ways and what's happening in these ways. So part of the issue was, could we look at convening power, about how do we actually bring probably a thinking process which says, can we talk to the holders of capital about how do you deploy this capital responsibly, so that it takes a much more long-term view and actually looks at human development and issues in terms of global equity. You need chief executives of some of the multinationals. You need probably stock exchange bosses that can come to the party, chairpersons or some members of some of the larger pension funds, some ministers of finance, ministers of health, and maybe that might be a new conversation piece to begin to look at how do we actually take this process forward.